Okay, I'm here with Shawn Crispin, who is the Southeast Asia editor of Asia Times Online, which claims to be the largest English language news source on Asia. Shawn has been in Thailand now for
my entire adult life.
His entire adult life, and you're claiming to be in adulthood now. Okay. He's grown up.
That's right. Here we are.
Shawn, what is happening in Thailand? What's going to be happening? How do you see things moving ahead right now? We now have a new prime minister in Thailand. The ex-prime minister of Thailand is living in exile, fugitive in exile. How long is this government going to last? And are we going to lose the airport again?
The airport will stay open for the foreseeable future, as far as I see it. I think we're actually in for what may surprise many as a longer-term period of stability than most anticipate. The new government, for the most part, was put in place by the military, which has played an extraordinarily destabilizing role with the previous government, which was seen by the protest group as a proxy for exiled Prime Minister Thaksin. This new government, led by Abhisit Wechachjiwat, has the technocratic credentials which the outside investment community, I think, are going to favor. They have the military backing. And they've been able to bring in various coalition partners that, quite frankly, are hungry to feed off some of these portfolios they were given to join the coalition. So I think you'll see a surprising amount of stability in the year and perhaps even 2 years ahead. So the main fear has been that you will have a counter backlash from the red shirt protest group. And
from the Thaksin supporters.
From Thaksin supporters. And what I've been saying is that they lack the financial backing, the organizational skill, and most importantly, the military backing, which made the PAD so successful in toppling the last government.
So what you're saying is Thaksin supporters are down for the count?
I think Thaksin's quite frankly, on his last legs. I think he's a desperate man. What I've heard last night from my sources is that he's now in Panama, which is one of the few places in the world that there's not an extradition treaty with Thailand. Coming up later this month will be court proceedings which aim to permanently seize $2.3 billion of his assets, believed to be the bulk of his personal holdings. I believe the people that used to be his political supporters, that used to benefit from that financial largesse, have seen the writing on the wall, knowing that he's not the financial powerhouse he used to be. They've switched sides, and they probably don't see any benefit in switching back if Thaksin doesn't have the same financial resources he used to have.
Okay, Thaksin is finished.
Thaksin is finished. Yeah, you heard it here first.
Okay, what about other aspects of the way Thailand is going to play out in Thailand looking ahead?
Well, I think what's going to be the defining political dynamic going ahead is Abhisit trying to establish the fact that his government is not a proxy of the military. The military apparently was essential in forming this coalition from behind the scenes. Many of the coalition partners were known to have met with Army Commander Anupong at his personal residence before agreeing to sign on to this Democrat-led coalition. Abhisit comes from a background, an understanding of his political party that used to strongly oppose military-run governments. His personal mentor, Chuan Likpai, for instance, was instrumental in implementing reforms in the late 1990s, which took away the military's personal business holdings, which reduced the number of generals, which really kind of hit the military right where it hurt in the pocketbook. And I think Abhisit is very much going to try to establish himself in that mold.
But this guy is, what, educated at Eton and Oxford?
Eton and Oxford.
Can he really relate to rural Thailand?
I don't think that, for now, matters. That won't matter until the next election, and if you'll note that the people he was able to bring in through his coalition partners can speak to the rural grassroots, and Abhisit's party has a very strong support base in southern Thailand, that obviously they'll be able to maintain that. The Democrats have very strong support in Bangkok, the capital, and made extraordinary gains in the last election in the central regions. So they have they have brought on board coalition party members that have influence in the areas where the Democrats are weak, in the northeast and in the north. So quite frankly, he can relate at a grassroots level in southern Thailand. in Bangkok, just not in the Northeast and the North. I don't see this as many analysts do as a class struggle, that somehow the Democrats represent an elite class and Thaksin represented the grassroots. I see this more as a struggle between two competing elite clans, Thaksin representing one, the Democrats, the PAD, and the monarchy another. And so this idea that Thaksin somehow is seen as the savior of grassroots Thailand, I think it's a misguided analysis.
Okay, all right. Any other final thoughts?
Kind of spilled it there.
Okay, all right. Well, this is looking ahead at Thailand, and we're not going to see anything like the airport being closed again.
No time soon. That was a military-backed operation, and the military just put their people in government. So the airport's open.
The airport will stay open. Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, Tom.